Like the best team in Israel, Maccabi Tel Aviv, they compete in the Euro League, which is the best league outside of the NBA. So we're seeing so many players. Danny Avdia was a ninth pick of the draft for Washington Wizards, an Israeli player. There's so much crossover between NBA players coming to play over here and players from here going to play over the NBA. It's obviously not as good as the NBA, but there's a lot of unique advantages growing up in the Euro League system or the Israeli system because there's no college basketball here. So you're forced to learn how to play like a pro by the time you're 16. You're in the farm system of the pro team. You're tied in to the professional program, even though you might only be 15 or 16 years old. So by the time you're 18 or 19, you're very, very well equipped to make the jump to the NBA if you have a skill level.
You hear that a lot from scouts' takes on European players coming to the U.S. to the draft. These guys have been banging with 30-year-olds since they were 16 years old. And so that brings about a different level of physical and mental maturity if you're playing at that level versus just playing against other 18-year-olds and being by far the best guy.
Not only that, but culturally, okay? You might be a 16-year-old kid, say, for example, that grew up in Israel and you only know Hebrew. And then next thing you know, you have 4 new teammates. One of them's from Mississippi. One of them's from, Russia. And you need to learn how to communicate and respect a lot of cultures, which gives you a huge advantage in life. And then the other thing is you understand the importance of every single game and learning how to deal with the pressures that come along with that. Because in America, if you're an AAU or high school, you're just playing ball. It's like you're turning around. The NBA, you got to turn around and play the next night. Here, it's like the most you'll play is like 60, 64 games a year over like 10 months, 1 or 2 games a week. And there's such an emphasis to win that you learn how to deal with that pressure. I saw Luka talking about that today, actually, he's like, what pressure? I'll tell you pressure. Pressure is like when you're 16 playing in the Euro League and the whole country is like watching you play. It's not, the whole country behind you and you need to win because it's kind of like football in America where like after Sunday Night Football, everybody, Monday, Tuesday, when everyone's going over every detail of the game. There's such an emphasis on every possession and you have to learn how to deal with that. So they have that component a little bit with basketball here because you're only playing once or twice.